Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. This is the story of the Endler's Lifebearer, a fish shaped by isolation, preference and a fragile natural world. At first glance, Endlers look familiar, small, lively, colorful. But the deeper you look, the more you realize this fish represents something very rare in the aquarium hobby, a snapshot of evolution, still unfinished. Let's dive right in. Keeping and breeding Endler's Lifebearers is relatively simple, which is one reason why they've become so popular in the hobby. A small group can be kept in a tank of around 50 liters, that's 13 US gallons, or larger, with stable conditions, plenty of cover, and some open swimming space. They prefer warm water, roughly between 22 and 28 degrees Celsius, and they do best in moderately hard and slightly alkaline water. Endlers are omnivorous. They thrive on a varied diet of high-quality flakes and small pellets, supplemented with algae-based foods and occasional live or frozen foods. My Endlers live in a heavily planted 240 liter, so 63 gallon tank, and they love occasional vegetables and fruit snacks, as well as salmon. They are active but peaceful fish and generally do well with other calm species that share similar water requirements. Breeding happens easily in a healthy setup. Males herd constantly, females give birth to fully formed fry, and no special intervention is usually needed. Providing dense plants or moss gives the young a chance to hide and grow, as adults or even other fish species may snack on them if given the opportunity. Most people know the common guppy by name, even when they are not into the aquarium hobby. Fewer know that even its discovery has a story. But the Endler's Lifebearer follows a very different path. In 1937, a biologist named Franklin F. Bond, he's probably related to James Bond, collected a small, colorful lifebearer from a Venezuelan lagoon called Laguna de Patos. The specimens were preserved, catalogued, and then forgotten. For decades, they sat quietly in museum jars, unnoticed by science and completely unknown to aquarists. Fast forward to 1975. Evolutionary biologist Dr. John Endler was studying guppies in northeastern Venezuela when he encountered the fish again, alive this time, flashing with intense metallic and neon colors, unlike anything he had seen in Poecilia reticulata, the classic guppy. They were smaller, brighter, almost glowing. This rediscovery is what brought the fish into the spotlight and eventually into the aquarium hobby. Yet, even then, their identity remained uncertain. It wasn't until 2005, nearly 70 years after Bond first collected them, that Poecilia wingei was formally described as its own species. A fish known for decades, officially recognized only yesterday. To understand Endlers, you need to fully understand where they come from. Unlike the common guppy, Poecilia reticulata, one of the most widely distributed freshwater fish on Earth, Poecilia wingei is a biological opposite. Its natural range is tiny, extremely tiny. Endlers are native to a small region in northeastern Venezuela, mainly the Paria Peninsula and the Laguna de Patos near Cumana. That's it. No continents conquered, no global takeover. And even within that small range, they don't just live anywhere. They are specialists, warm, hard water lagoons, often shallow, often murky. Visibility is poor, the water is loaded with suspended particles. In this environment, subtle colors disappear. So, evolution responded with brightness, intense metallic greens, blues, and especially orange, colors bold enough to cut through the haze. Those orange spots aren't random decoration. Both Endlers and common guppies feed on carotenoids in the wild, pigments found in the rare orange algae and in fallen fruits. You can actually find them in carrots at home, and I often feed carrots to my guppies. These compounds are valuable. They are energy rich and support immune functions. Over time, guppy brains evolved to notice orange instantly. Orange meant food. Orange meant survival. Male Endlers took advantage of this. Their brilliant orange patches tap directly into the pre-existing sensory bias. When a female sees a bright orange-colored male, her brain reacts the same way it would when encountering a high-quality food source. And there's a catch, an important one. Fish cannot produce carotenoids on their own. So, a male with intense orange coloration is advertising something very real. He's healthy, efficient, and capable of finding the best food resources. An honest signal. Females choose the brightest males. This is called sexual selection in biology and is an important part of the ENDLERS Lifebearers evolution. Generation after generation, that choice pushed coloration further and further until the neon fish we know today emerged. In clear water, subtlety can work. In murky lagoons, it can't. Endlers males are known for extremely energetic courtship behavior. Rapid movements, sharp turns, sudden flashes of color. A style often described as more intense and more forceful than in many populations of common guppies. They invest a large portion of their daily energy into mating attempts, combining quick, gonopodial thrusts with exaggerated, high-speed displays. It's not graceful, it's urgent. And in my opinion, it's more similar to the way platy males court their females than normal guppy males court guppy females. In water, where visibility is limited, hesitation means invisibility. Here's where things get especially interesting. In laboratory conditions, Poecilia wingei and Poecilia reticulata can in fact interbreed. Their offspring are fertile. By many definitions, that alone would suggest they shouldn't be separate species at all, but in nature, they remain distinct. You may ask why, and the answer is behavior. Female Endlers show a strong preference for very specific color patterns and courtship movements. Patterns and movements unique to Endlers males. Their preference acts as a pre-zygotic barrier, preventing widespread hybridization even when the two species live close to one another. In other words, they could mix, they just don't want to. Species integrity maintained not by physical barriers, but by choice. And there's one more ability that makes this fish extraordinary. Female Endlers can store viable sperm for months, up to 6 in documented cases. Specialized organs allow them to preserve genetic material long after mating. That means a single female washed into a new body of water during a flood can found an entire population on her own. She can give birth to multiple generations using stored sperm from a male she encountered long ago. It's biological time travel, and one of the reasons livebearers are such effective colonizers, even when their natural range is limited. For all their resilience and all their beauty, Endlers face a grim reality in the wild. The Laguna de Patos, their most famous habitat, has suffered extreme environmental degradation. Pollution, urban waste and habitat destruction have transformed large parts of it into a dumping site. On top of that, common guppies have been introduced into the region, increasing the risk of hybridization and further eroding pure populations. Although Poecilia wingei is not officially listed on the IUCN Red List, many researchers believe that truly wild, genetically poor populations may already be on the brink, or gone entirely from their original locality. A fish rediscovered once may now be disappearing forever. ENDLERS Lifebearers are more than colorful aquarium fish. They are a living lesson in evolution, preference, isolation, and loss. Every flash of orange tells a story. Every display is shaped by murky water, female choice, and thousands of generations making small decisions that added up to something extraordinary. When we keep them, we're not just keeping a fish. We're keeping a fragment of a very small, very fragile world alive. Thank you for taking this journey with me, and a special thanks to the members of the Guppy Gang, Belgian Bugs, Julius, JVP, and Dottie. Your monthly support helps keep the lights on and helps keep this channel running, and my fish fed. If you liked this video, please consider a like and subscribe, and if you found this video interesting, I'm sure you would love this video on the right hand side, where you see the evolution of the tank where my Endlers guppies live over a year, or the video on the left hand side. Thanks for watching.